Welcome to another conversation with the experts. We are joined today by Tony Talmadge. Many of you know Tony, and of course, Tara Huberty, our host for this series. But this is going to be a little bit different conversation. We're going to flip the table here a little bit, and Tara is going to be the one answering the questions, and Tony is going to be the one asking the questions. Tara has such an inspiring story that we really wanted to share her story and just her enthusiasm and her beautiful esophageal speech with the community. So I'm going to back out and I'm going to hand it over to the two of you. So, Tony, take it away.
Well, first and foremost, Tara, this is I'm extremely humbled to be able to be doing this. And my first question to you is, tell me about your journey from diagnosis to recovery.
Right. So it's nice to meet you, first of all. Um, so I was diagnosed in 2015 in August. I had the whole, I couldn't breathe. I was struggling with breathing, kept going to emergency rooms, kept getting told I had asthma. Finally, I met a doctor that scoped me. And right away, when they went past my larynx, big old tumor covering, 90% of my airway. Went to emergency surgery that night to debulk it. I didn't end up with the trachea. And then I ended up having surgery 2 weeks later with the total laryngectomy, followed by I got married 6 weeks after my surgery. That was already, our wedding was already in the works, and we decided to keep going on with it. Then I started radiation 2 days after our wedding. I ended up getting a infection in my chin and the top of my stoma and neck area that busted through and went to another emergency surgery the day after my radiation finished. Um, but since then, I mean, I've been doing pretty good. Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, it seems like every laryngectomy out there has their own specific way of going through this, and I mean, mine was pretty similar to that, but yeah, it's a very scary moment for all. It's pretty amazing how we all can flourish through all of this.
Yes.
And anyway, so what advice do you have for somebody getting ready to go through the surgery?
I would say meet with a laryngectomy, or if you can't meet in person, Zoom with a laryngectomy or Facebook chat with a laryngectomy. Get to know somebody that's been through it to kind of help guide you. I know I've had a few people reach out to me, and I've had no problem helping guiding them. Hopefully they've had a great experience like I had. I never got the chance to meet a laryngectomy before I had surgery. I didn't meet a laryngectomy until it was probably 2 years after my surgery that I actually met a laryngectomy. So I
Wow,
link.
that's amazing. That much time went by. That's that's astonishing. Actually, I was extremely lucky because I was really good area, and I was able to connect with a lot of other Larrys at that time. Anyway, do you have any advice for any caregivers out there?
Yeah, so for caregivers, I would say be patient. Uh, I was always super frustrated like when my husband would, you know, interrupt me, but he didn't know he was interrupting me. He didn't know, like, that I wasn't finished with my thought or my sentence or whatever I wanted to say. Like when I did use electrolytics for a very, very little bit. I was not good at it. can understand me. Tony, you use it amazing. It's perfect. I can totally understand you. But caregivers, I would say definitely be patient, listen, take your time, repeat whatever the person said to you until you can understand what they're communicating.
Yes, I thoroughly agree. And it's, I mean, I gotta tell you, you sound absolutely amazing as well. I can hear every single word. It's I'm I'm just, well, I can see why you're infamous. It just, yeah, you're amazing. Really, you really are.
Well, thank you.
And so, what do you want medical professionals beginning to work with laryngectomies to know?
I want them to know, we're normal people. We just breathe out of our neck. I feel like I am no different than a mouth breather or a nose and mouth breather. The only difference is I just don't breathe the same way. Well, I've given birth before my laryngectomy. I've given birth after my laryngectomy. There is no difference in the birthing process. There, I've, I've gone through several surgeries even after my laryngectomy. I had a lung resection this last year for mets in my lungs, and it was no different. Treat us the same. I wish a lot more medical professionals knew about laryngectomies. I know when I've gone to the ER, they've tried to put air on my mouth, and I have to correct them, which I have no problem correcting them. But
Yep.
I just was more common knowledge. I know it's rare, but I wish it was more common knowledge.
Yeah, I know it's very frustrating. I was just recently in the same situation when I went to the hospital just recently, and I literally had to let them know,
Yeah.
the fact that I don't breathe. I don't breathe air.
Right.
And that's how it works. So yeah, it's
That sounded great.
well, that's my second form of speech is esophageal. So so whenever my batteries run out, I can always talk like this.
That is great.
So, so that works out pretty decent for me.
That was amazing.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
What emotional impact did losing your voice have on you?
So in the beginning, I was very frustrated. That was probably my biggest emotional impact. I wasn't really sad. I was just frustrated because it was hard to get my points across, hard to talk, like have communication. I'm a social person, so I like to talk. Uh, yeah, yes. So frustration was my biggest emotional impact. I was scared. I did have a couple of scares where I had mucus plugs get stuck, and I didn't know what that was or how to deal with it at first. Um, so there's a lot of just being scared. But after I overcame that, dealt with my frustrations, really communicated with my husband and my fiance at the time, but husband now, and uh, got over that frustration. My family was huge, and really like listening to what I had to say. Frustration had to be my biggest emotional impact.
Yeah, it certainly does get frustrating for sure. I mean, I'm sure we've all been through it. If you've been through the surgery, well, then it's just something that you have to overcome, and and it's doable. The majority have, and some people are still struggling, and yet, you know, you just have to be strong and be confident, and life goes on, and that's how it works. Yeah. Anyway, so what have you learned about your surgery because of this experience?
So I've learned What have I learned? I've learned that, I can do absolutely anything I set my mind to. I wanted to talk really bad because I'm a social person. I work with in the public. So people ask a lot of questions and they want to, not everybody wants to talk, but a lot of people want to talk. And in the industry I'm in, I'm a cosmetologist. And people want to talk. So, you can do anything you set your mind to. Um, I've learned that I can lift weights. Like I was told that I wasn't going to be able to, you know, lift heavy anymore. And now I work out 2 times a day lifting heavy weights. I learned. I was told I wasn't going to be able to give birth naturally. No, I did it. I proved them wrong. So prove people wrong. You can do anything.
That's what I'm talking about. That's phenomenal. Absolutely, that's great. So how did being a laryngectomy impact your job?
So it definitely impacted my job, especially at first. I'm a cosmetologist. Specifically, I do men's hair. I Men are just so much easier. Uh, and I like doing it. So at first, I eased back into it. I started with being a receptionist when I came back. Now I only work very part time, but I still do it, and I love it. Um, People are very understanding, so I love what I do, and I I still work. I do it.
That's great. That's great. The confidence is amazing, and you're just extremely inspiring. That's for sure. You know,
Thank you.
absolutely. I mean, not like even me meeting you for the first time today. I'm just very lucky to be sharing the screen with you. So yeah. Anyway, uh, what is something you were told you wouldn't be able to do that you can in fact do now?
All right, so I can let's see. I can talk. I can work out. I can run, which I wasn't told I couldn't run. But it was scary at first. Uh, I went on my first roller coaster, and I was like, "Whoa!" Because I got so much air into my neck. But after that, I've done it many times since, and it was great. I have not tried to swim yet because that scares me. That is the one thing I don't think I will be trying. I know there's a lot of people that do. Go you rock. I'm not there. I'm not that confident. I'm
Well,
scared.
it's something that I'm gonna have to get you in the pool and personally show you how to do this. I've gotten many laryngectomies in the pool for the first time, and they thought they couldn't do it, and now you can't keep them out of the pool. After one little session with the experts in the pool, and there's several of us, and we get into the pool and we get them in there and we get the confidence up, and yet they're able to swim, and they didn't think they would be able to do it. But yeah, yeah, you just need you have the confidence to go this far. You can have the confidence to go that far too.
All
So,
right. I'm counting on you to teach me.
oh no, it's gonna be my pure pleasure. Absolutely, yeah,
Bye.
yeah, absolutely. We're gonna get you into the pool, and you're gonna love it. And anyway, for our final question of this incredible meeting is, how was becoming a laryngectomy changed your life for the better?
So I would say that I'm not just alive anymore. I like actually live. I do the things I always wanted to do that I never had the confidence to do, or I never, had the ambition to actually go do it. I always wanted to do it, but I never did it. And I feel like being a laryngectomy is totally like, it sounds weird. I know it just might sound crazy, but it's given me the ambition the confidence, the just go do it, to live my life and not just be alive. Actually, truly live.
You're amazing, and you're inspirational. And what can I tell you? I mean, anybody going through this surgery or anyone who has already gone through this surgery, just hearing your story is life changing. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And we thank you for being a part of this. And it's like I said, I was extremely humbled, and to be able to actually interview the master, and this is phenomenal. So
Master.
yes, absolutely,
I
absolutely.
agree. I
You're
think
amazing.
yeah, I think you're both amazing. I think you're both amazing. And thank you so much. This is a great conversation that I hope will be inspiring to those about to go through the surgery, or maybe somebody who's been through the surgery who needs a little boost, a little inspirational boost. So thank you both. And we'll see you next time for our next conversation with the experts.
And thank you.